Excited to be back on for the Lights360 Instagram chat. I'm coming to you live from Chicago. Excited. We're going to be having a wonderful discussion today. Yesterday, it was an awesome discussion with AJ. If you are joining, just let me know where you are. I see people joining. Let me know where you're joining from. Say a quick hello. I'd like to know where you are. That would be awesome. Also, Julia owns a restaurant in the city of Chicago, and also she's involved in the various entrepreneurial endeavors. She has a story that will inspire every one of you. So we're waiting for her to join us now. Just help us share this video so that other people can be a part of it. Help us share the video. Like the video, comment on the video. Let's spread the word. What are you? Let me see. What are you doing right now? Is there something new that you've picked up during this lockdown season? Is there something new, a skill or something? At the beginning of the lockdown, we came up on Instagram then, and we talked about to pick up some new skills and so on. How has it been for you? If you want to share, just put it in there, either here on Instagram or on Facebook. What is it that you have picked up? What's going on? 1 word, 2 words, that would be awesome. So let's see. And then also please continue to tell me where you are joining from. That would be great too. I see peace, moral philosopher. Appreciate you all. Let me know where you are joining from. That would be awesome. This lockdown season, for some people it's about to end. For some people, okay, Pastor Dotun. My wife and I just said, we're going to start doing some, regulating for her to accept. We'll start the discussion. But please let me know what you have. Let me know what you. The same thing. Somebody said, I've been able to complete some certifications in my career and use social media for generating revenue. Wow, that is awesome. Especially that using social media for that is so. That's very good. It's an opportunity to generate revenue. Yes, now we can see your face. Thank you.
Okay.
Thank you for joining. So everyone joining us, we have people joining us now on Instagram and on Facebook. I've been talking with the people, just what are some things that they've picked up during this lockdown. Live chats today, Julia Gham, right? Did I pronounce your last name well? Gham, right?
Gham,
okay. Among many things, she is the owner and the founder of the Powerhouse Restaurant in Chicago. But that's just one of the things that she does entrepreneurially. She has other things, and we're going to talk about it. So let's start quickly. Just as a beginning point, could you tell our audience who is Julia Gham?
Starting with the word crazy. Am I allowed?
Yeah, feel free. Yeah.
Okay. Well, I am a go-getter. I hail from Seoul, Cameroon. I lost my dad when I was 10. So I am the eldest and twin. That is before my career. So I am a producer. I am also CEO and owner of the Powerhouse Restaurant, the Powerhouse ENT Inc.
Wow.
And the Powerhouse Multimedia, Ghana, and the Jacquerie Calabash Cuisine, which is starting soon in Ghana as well. So I'm also a talk show host for WGAC and Trend African TV. And I'm Julia again.
Wow,
so
awesome.
Nice to meet you all.
That's a whole lot of things that you do. I mean,
Yeah,
when I said serial entrepreneur, in the description of the chart,
right,
I'm like, yeah, she's a serious entrepreneur because I heard your story during the Leading Lights training. And when you
right.
shared about, how you got into entrepreneurship, the things that you do, I was like, wow, this is amazing. So I felt like this is something that people should hear about and it will inspire people at this time. So my question for you, my first question for you is, with all those things that you do, like all that, and we'll still talk a little bit more about it. How did you get into it? And then if you could, somewhere along the line, if you could link that up with the Leading Lights training organized by the Life Development Center that you attended, just tell us a little bit of your story and then we'll continue from there.
Well, I started off with a very independent Julia Young. Been traveled to Germany when I was about 18 years old, and I had to help fend for my family. So I faced this world whereby I was the caretaker and I had to make a lot of decisions. But I remember that my mom, after my dad passed away, brought us up with opening a restaurant, and I wanted to make it better. So I was going to borrow something from the Western cuisine and see how they're doing and bring it back to her restaurant, which I achieved. But then I thought about the fact that there is no Cameroonian restaurant which is popular internationally. You go anywhere, you find Nigerian cuisine, Ghanaian cuisine, and all of that. And I said, but Cameroon, any other African countries? So I said, this luxury must be shown to the world. Germany was now home for me because of the so many factors, among which racism is one of them. I sought a city where there must be that kind of diversity that welcomes everybody. And I figured out, I realized Chicago was, God chose Chicago for me. Because I was suffering in Germany. I decided not to do what normal people do, and I won the lottery, the green card lottery. And I've given God, I set a timeline. I told him, 2 years, you'll get me out of this country. And exactly 2 years from that date, my cousin called me from the US and said, you won the American lottery. I'm like, I didn't play. She said, I played for you. So, well, why here? I kept on with the fight. I started with, I needed to know the nooks and crannies of Chicago. And I had to humble myself with, I needed to work with any other company with hospitality, so I know how to deal with customer service. I needed to work with Jira Deli, so I know how to make my own Sundays and everything. I needed to work at Target overnight to see how stock taking works and all of that. And I was sowing my seed everywhere. But then I remembered my goal. And I said it was time for me to start the Cameroonian restaurant I so dreamed of. So I decided to be a cab driver because in order to write a business plan, I need to know every corner of the city.
Okay, and so could you pause a little bit, because I think you are saying some very important things that I would like, we're going to continue your story. So you had to do a lot of things that were not your primary goal, just to get to your primary purpose. You were a cab driver, you worked at Target, you worked at, just different places. You were trying to survey the land to learn. What do you say to people who are thinking of being an entrepreneur, but they just want to jump right into it? They don't want to go through,
You can never be a great boss without knowing what the truck pusher does. You can never be a great boss without knowing what the newspaper carrier does. And without fitting into their shoes in just one day in your life. So I'm not necessarily saying that you have to be a newspaper carrier, no. You have to humble yourself and be of service first. And then you can serve as an entrepreneur when you get to that position in a way that is going to make you successful.
Very good. Yeah, continue your story. Thank you. I just needed to point that out.
So I thought in order to write a good business plan, I would have to do surveys. And the best way to do that would be to be a cab driver. That's the only place, I'll tell you the truth, where you can work, have 5 to 10 minutes of someone's time without inconveniencing them, and you can come across people from all walks of life.
Yes, yes.
And usually when you stand around the street corners, people are not, ready to listen to you. They brush you. They don't have time or to pay attention to your survey or while you're there. But I say, if you're a cab driver, you have one person in your cab room, you're able to ask them questions, whether they like it or not, or have a great conversations and pick and choose what you want for your survey. So it worked out well. I met my first business investor in a cab, the shareholder of Adler Planetarium.
Oh, wow. Okay.
He motivated me. He said, when you can come with a business plan, I'll connect you to Latest Entertainment. And Latest Entertainment, as you know, they're the big name, big shot in Chicago when it comes to cuisine. Yeah. So culinary skills and stuff. So I immediately, I knew it was time. So I left Chicago and I had to go back to Cameroon for 1 month, where I sat down uninterrupted to write my plan from all the information I had gathered.
Why did you go to Cameroon to write it?
Because I wanted to be in a setting where there are names of different food items and ingredients that I needed to relate to and pick up without missing anything. And the craft that I wanted, the kind of artwork I wanted to see, the calabash, the ingredients, the guitar, and all those names, I wanted to be able to have access to without, that made it more authentic at the time that the plan was delivered.
So I think that it took some time out to sit down and to think and to write it out. That's very much like what the Bible says when it says, write the vision, make it plain. The Bible always encourages us to take some time to write out our plans, to receive plans, to write things out, and then so that you can execute better. So very good. Yeah.
Correct. So with that going forward, I wrote a plan, came back to Chicago. I started doing my presentations, which I was looking for the investors. I would have gone to New York, I would have gone to many cities, and I was getting the no's. The no's because it is not their type of food. I never gave up. I kept on until I finally found my investors. Wow. Bob Gordon put in $300,000, and then Funding Universe also came up with a deal to sign the $700,000 dollars, which would have given me my $1 million for my business plan. Again, this was not just for Cameroon, because I wanted to do the first upscale African restaurant in Chicago, where all of us as Africans will be proud, not just Cameroonians. Yeah. But what happened 2 weeks from signing and when the loan had to be put into my account, I'll be open here, it's your platform and truthful, that the father of my kids had called and told them, why are you effing my wife?
Wow.
And as you know, that's a complete no-no. So this is what I was told. Julia, you were so perfect. We have not seen your plan in 20 years. We were looking for that one thing that was going to bring you down, and we got it. Wow. How are you going to pay us back our money when there's an insecure person in your life?
Wow.
Who is going to send everyone out of your restaurant?
Wow.
And the 700 didn't come in, so Bob was left with his 300 he had to keep it. This is what I decided from then on. I said I was going to start afresh.
Wow.
I decided to start the food truck.
So you lost that funding? Because...
I lost it.
Wow. Well, so you are teaching something here about persistence, that whatever goal we have, life is going to throw bricks at us. We must make sure that we don't let those bricks destroy us, but we pick up those bricks and we use those bricks as to build an edifice. So
Correct.
you just continued. You were persistent. You lost about $1 million in funding just because of someone, but you never stopped.
And this was after 5 years of all of this coming together.
Wow.
And I'm like, okay. I had to pick up and I said, that 5,000 or 1 million doesn't define me, doesn't define who I am. I am still Julia and I can do it.
Yeah.
So I thought about, how do I get my food known around Chicago so that at the end of it, people would, now come to eventually start a restaurant about the food truck.
Mm-hmm.
And at the time when I started the food truck, thank God for AJ, I was pregnant and I left the father of my kids.
Wow.
And I said I had to part with something. And I had a good reason to. I had to think of the opportunity cost, spending for my children in future. But I started with $100. That is the story.
That's the
with
food truck. You started a food truck. Yeah. Wow.
And let me tell you how. I gave birth to my child. It was through C-section. She was 3 months old when I decided to go out on the street to sell my food from a food thermo. That's a coolers. And I said I used to take my kids in the car, a car that was loaned out to me as a friend gave it to me. And I would take them in that car and go downtown at close to Sheraton, and I would sell. And there's Jedediah, Jaden, and Janelle in the car with me. And I had to sacrifice some days from my daughter's school and some time. Janelle, God forgive me, but it's worked out somehow. I had to take them downtown with me. Jaden was 3, so I wasn't guilty of that. But Janelle, I felt so guilty for putting her off. And I would go downtown with all 3 in the car. And cab drivers who knew me would say, Julia, what are you doing here? I'm like, I'm selling food.
Wow.
So happily, and one after the other and the other and the other. Every money I got from that, I saved. I had already applied for my food service manager certification, which was pending. And I needed to raise the funds to pay for that. I got the funds from serving, and I paid for my food service manager certification from selling on that vehicle on the street. I had a Nigerian show up. I think he showed up and said, you know what, I have a food truck that I bought. It's been standing for a year now. It's a loan on it. Would you like to adopt the loan? By that time, I had $500, which I could put as a down payment to sign over the loan.
Yeah.
So my income had grown from 100 to 500.
That's good. That's good.
Progress.
Yeah.
So I had to put a down payment and took over the vehicle. It was illegal because there was no signage. It wasn't licensed and everything. But I was on the street and I wouldn't give up. I remember showing up with my food truck and I'm calling names. Called the police on me because I'm already taking up their space.
That's another restaurant in the city of Chicago.
Yes. Okay. And the police showed up while I was with the kids, and they said, Julia, we're here to give you a ticket. Your car is not licensed. And I said, officer, what would you have me do? Rob a bank? I will stay here and feed these kids because I'm not doing anything criminal. Outside spending for my family. I think that if you put me out of this place, we're going to be homeless, and I don't think that you want that. I think being a kind officer, you go out and take care of those people who are drug addicts and who are
people who are really committing crime.
Exactly. But I've applied for my license. I've come through to this stage, and I'm going to make sure I have that license very soon. And he said, I'm so proud of you.
Wow.
I'm so proud of you.
A good officer, yeah.
Make sure you get that license. But you have to always stand up in truth. Because sometimes, it's trying to play your words around that doesn't help you. The officer gave me an opportunity within 4 months, I think that there was also another gentleman that passed by, said, I've been coming here every day, passing by, just admiring you, selling food with your kids. I think I could help you with the signage on your vehicle.
Wow.
And paid $200 and gave me the location of where I could go do it. They did it for me, and according to, I did the graphics. I do the graphics myself, and I printed it out and put it on the truck. So a month from that, the city called me, your license is approved and all of that. I was officially legal.
Wow.
So,
so it's a real journey of persistence.
Correct.
Going from just, you had your dream, it seemed like it was shattered at different times, but you never quit. You just kept on moving and just kept on moving. So fast forward from the food truck, now you have a restaurant, and then you have all those other things that you do now, which we're going to talk a little bit more about.
Correct.
So tell us about the Powerhouse Restaurant. Let's start with that.
Okay, the Powerhouse Restaurant is a result of the food truck doing well at the airport at O'Hare. And someone called me one day. Someone came to the food truck one day and said, Julia, I see you selling food at the airport. How is this going to, can you help me get a food truck? And I said, of course, is that easy? Let me tell you what you need to do, the steps. And I stood there, I guided him from the beginning to the end. He said, you give all of this information for free? I said, why not? If it's going to help you, why not?
Yeah.
So he said, I'm going to have my brother call you. And the next day, I received a call from the brother. And the brother had this restaurant right now where I am, saying, oh, you know what? I'm selling my restaurant downtown. Wow. And thank you for helping my brother. I don't know if you would like to see it. And I said, oh, right. I didn't have the money for the rest.
Yeah. It's faith. Yeah. You didn't have the money, but you
I didn't have it.
Yeah.
The faith is there. Okay. Yeah. Right now I'm coming. I want it. And you know something? Ask AJ, Aji, or Joe. We've been looking for a restaurant at that location since 2009. And we're talking 2018, 19, when I'm getting this call.
Yeah.
And I said, I have to get there. When I got there, I saw the place. It was just perfect for me. So the guy said he needed 45,000 put down. I said, I'll come up with it. And by December, my I was still tearing up. I said, I'll come up with it. So by February, I had an opportunity where I got a loan, and then I put the money in, and I got the place. I bought it. So that brings me to the Powerhouse Restaurant.
Wow.
And when I got it, it wasn't what you see. It was just, so I decided to start changing and growing it.
Yeah. Wow. Awesome. So somewhere along the line, the Leading Lights, you came for the Leading Lights training, which is organized by the Light Development Center. Tell me, what was the experience of Leading Lights, and then afterwards, what happened as a result of that? Yeah.
With all of this going on, you have to address your flaws. I had an issue with time management. It was so much going on. I didn't mention that while I was doing this thing, while I was in Africa writing a business plan, I was also working on producing an artist, which I produced the most popular artist in Cameroon called Mr. Leo. So I was in music, entertainment, productions, and all of that. Well, my kids, I dropped that while I was going through the hitches trying to build a food truck.
Yeah.
But I picked it right back up when I started the restaurant. And opening the restaurant, I got reached by Steph. He was, I want you to be part of a movie. And I could not say no to that because of the script. I didn't have the money for it, but I could not say no because it was a true story, which every Christian should watch that movie.
Okay.
And for some reason, I got guided by God to say yes.
Okay.
Can you wait until March and then I would probably come up with the funds? She said, yes, she'll wait. And by that time, I had the funds to now invest in the movie.
Yeah.
But it was so much going on, and I was not as efficient and effective as I wanted to be. But once I came into Leading Light, I saw that there were so many things I needed to do to plan my time. And the essence of giving God that time that he needed.
Yes.
To
Prioritizing
appreciate
God.
him for the purpose that he did put me into, and for me to better fulfill my purpose on earth. So I used to do the night program, and it would prevent me from going to church. But I said, and I had a longing for going to church, and there were excuses because I'm tired. So I said, erase that. It's insignificant, and be more productive when you go with your family on Sunday morning before you can go to church. And besides that, also making sure that everyone came together to discourse at the end of the week, to report, having more regular meetings, addressing my clients as well as my staff.
Right? You did some reorganization with your staff to allow them also to be able to go to church and to have meetings and all that. Just like you were doing adjustments in your own life.
Exactly. Exactly. It did help me a lot, and I'll tell you that with that I found a lot of progress, and which gave room for an article that was written about me by the Chicago readers.
Oh, okay. Wow.
Yes.
Awesome.
Yes. And that went out in February of this year, and everything went out of control because I started having so many people just bump into the restaurant, and everything has a ripple, effect. So the seed from Leading Light helped me, plan myself so I could not miss that opportunity, which now presented itself.
Yeah. So people usually say, like, when they come for Leading Lights, some people, they say, I discovered my purpose. Now, some people already have an idea of their purpose. They will say, when I came, it became more confirmed. Then some people will say, my life became more organized. Then some people will say, I met some people and I became part of a family. So I know that one of the things that happened to you, apart from the fact that, you shared, like this reorganization of time and all that, was that there was a company of people that you also came in contact with, part of the LDC, Leading Light Flow, and, that has led to certain things that have been happening right now, even with the restaurant. And we're going to talk about the movie, shortly. So you did something this last Sunday that I wanted to talk about. Can you talk about it, if you don't mind? You did something with your restaurant, with the Leading Light Network USA people.
Yes, it started off on Tuesday. I woke up in the morning, and the first thing that came up in my mind is like, I wish I could just see everybody that from the Leading Light. And then I said, I want to, I need to cook and feed them, right? And it was in my mind, but I think it was God delivering the messages, because I woke up even before I brought. That was the first thing that popped up. And then immediately I have to send a message like, this is what I really want to do, like get everyone. I thought about the homeless that I feed, and I said, no. There are a lot of people who are in their household sometimes that do not even have food to eat.
Yeah.
And I don't know who but reach out and give everybody. And on that day, I had about $100 in my account. With this pandemic, it's been sad at the restaurant. So I'm like, I'm going to do it.
Yeah.
I was so confident and happy about it. So I sent a message. The next day, I went to the restaurant. I made $700. God had provided the funds for it, because it's not happened since the pandemic began.
Wow. So God responded even before you delivered on it. You just sent it out. God responded by sending you, increased income.
Exactly. 700 and the next day 500. I had enough.
Mm.
And with that, I was not able to serve the food, but something else happened
Mm.
that was so big. On Sunday at 1 o'clock, exactly at the time that I was serving food, that the first person collected the food. I have that time because when I saw the notice, it was later.
Yeah.
That was the time I got an approval notice that the government had approved my loan.
Wow. The PPP loan?
Yes.
Wow. Awesome. Awesome.
Well,
praise God for that. You know,
yes. I mean,
some people don't understand what that is. But it's a forgivable loan that the government is giving to businesses, small businesses, so that they can, you know, go through this period. So that is awesome. Yeah. So, you know, on Sunday, my wife and I were home, and somebody just, you know, pressed the bell and delivered food to our house. The whole family gathered around. It was nice, authentic African food. We enjoyed it and everything. It was part of what we were doing, you know, and I heard about other people that also received the same and picked up the same too. And you did this for free.
Yes.
For free. I mean, that's awesome. So let's go a little bit further. So now, why are you doing what you are doing? So you talk about the movie. Like, what's the cause behind all these things that you're doing? Your entrepreneurship and all that. What impact do you really want to make?
Life, I think that I'm a messenger.
Okay.
I am a messenger. Forgive me, I'm kneeling so that I could see this. I am a messenger.
Mm-hmm.
I think from my heart, I have been sent to impact lives in many ways, to bring solutions to people in different ways. And I do this from my heart, and that's what makes me happy. If I'm not doing that, I am not happy. I am moody. I wake up every day inspired by messages that I could use to impact one more person, and it makes me happy, feeling so fulfilled. Like when I did what I did on Sunday, Ask AJ, I was the happiest. And I sent messages. I said, I'm so happy I did this.
Yeah.
My
remember
mom.
in the Leading Lights training, we talked about our values, right? We try to find our 12 core values. So the reason why you were so happy, or you are happy when you do that, is because that is one of your core values, which is generosity, philanthropy, all those things. And entrepreneurship is another one, you know.
Correct.
Yeah, but that's one of the reasons why you felt so joyful. You know, when
correct.
You do that. Whenever we walk out our values, we feel so fulfilled. Yeah, go ahead.
Do you know, I used to just help people. And my friend, I have my best friend here, Somi. She called me one day, said, Julia, you've made people millionaires in this city and you're broke. You have to start collecting money for all the things that you do. Tell you the truth, I filed papers for people immigrations. I have helped so many people get their stay. I'm calling myself the alternative lawyer because on the time I go into court, the judge say, why are you not a judge? Why are you not a lawyer? Yeah. I do so much, and it's a gift, and I get the messages in my head. And each time it works out. So, and I did not go to school for all of these things. Yeah. But I keep listening to those messages when I wake up too. And am directed to do his purpose. And that is also my purpose. Awesome. So that is why I do all the things I do.
Thank you. Now tell us about the movie that you just released, or is about to be released.
It is released. It's on Amazon.
Oh, awesome.
So this movie takes us to this part where we get to our roots. Who are you? And what can you do? What role do you play in your own dysfunctional family? Because every family has a certain set of character dysfunction. And in that family, who is the sacrificial lamb? And what are you doing to bring down the life of that sacrificial lamb to your own benefit? So I think that if everyone can watch this movie, they get to see the roles they play, and they get to identify their roles and their contributions to the progress of a particular family.
What's the name of the movie?
Saving Bango.
Saving Bango.
Saving Bango.
Is it Bango? I'm
going to tag the link here once I'm done. Okay. But Saving Bango talks about a boy who comes from a dysfunctional family, and he's caught up between that family and saving the love of his life, who happens to be sick with a brain tumor.
Okay.
And coming from that village, that brain tumor is seen as though she has witchcraft.
Okay.
So it takes us back to.
So it's an African movie.
It's an African movie.
Okay. Where was it shot? In Africa?
In Cameroon. It's a true story, 100%. The writer, the writer's mother, it was Bango. She died of cancer.
Okay.
And their soul rest in peace.
Oh, yeah.
But that story right now, as being reviewed, it's one of the best. It's an all-time classic. And I want all of us to go on there and share the love that we have by watching it.
Yeah.
It's going to help us sell some of those stories a whole lot more. And I think that it's going to inspire every one of you who's watching right now to be a better person when your brother or your sister is limping.
Okay, very good. So were you the director or did you act in the movie?
Executive producer.
Oh, you're the producer. Okay. All right. Awesome.
Yeah. But again, you know, I did a lot with, you know, coaching, doing the contracts, doing a whole lot, and of course, marketing. The aim of me putting my hand in that project is because of the storyline.
Yeah.
And I believed in the impact it was going to have in the world for those who watched the movie. And that's why I invested in it. It's not any story I invest in.
Yeah.
But
Thank you. So I'm going to ask those who are watching us, Instagram or Facebook, if you have a question for her, please post it. I'll ask you. But I have some quick questions for you. I think we have about 15 more minutes to go on this cast. The first question is, as an entrepreneur, right, who has a cause, you believe this is what God has called you to do, you know, you want to solve problems for people and you are involved in the different entrepreneurial stuff, what will you say if somebody came to you who is about to start, or who has a dream, somebody watching who has a dream of getting into entrepreneurship, starting a business like you did, or businesses like you did and all that? What are some things that you will say to the person, just, you know, quickly?
First thing, what do you like to do? What makes you happy that when you're not doing, you know, you're not happy? Secondly, grab a pen and start writing. If you cannot write, record yourself speak about the things that you want. If you do not know how to do a business plan, take what you've recorded. Come back, I will help you have a business plan got written for you. Yeah. Those are some of the stages. Okay. We're going to start a business, register you. You have to start. Don't wait. You have to start. Register an EIN is free.
Yeah.
And registering your business shouldn't be difficult. Now, if I know you're serious, I'll be more than happy to fund your business registration.
Okay, so you guys, you can see her Instagram handle. She says she can help you with your business plan. And, you know, if your plan is really good, she's going to do Shark Tank for you, you know.
100%. If I can get many Africans doing business and, you know, guiding them, it's really going to help. And that's what we need, to help each other come up and grow. So I'll be glad to invest that money to get you started, to get you registered. And trust me, God is going to give it to me in the next day. I believe that.
Yes. So you will continue, So what you will speak to an entrepreneur, so have a vision, get a plan, and then
Yes, and once you're registered, I want you to start writing what do you need to sell whatever product you want, you have in your plan. What do you need? What space? If you do not have a space, set up an online account, set up a website. These are things that you can have access to internet.
Yeah.
Try to market online. Virtual stores like Amazon, you can easily register for free. Amazon to sell your product, and be consistent with that one thing. Never give up.
Yeah.
Call up a few people and make sure that you align them in your call up a few contacts from your list and keep pitching from one person to another. And remember that social media is also an asset where those 5,000 people who are on your contact list are not there for nothing. Even if you get to 200 people at the end of the day, it is significant to your progress. Do not look out, do not be discouraged by the fact that you're not getting the entire 5,000. 5 of them also is also significant. The people you meet daily, do not be afraid to tell them about what you're saying. Do not be talking about other people. Talk about yourself, good energy. You're talking about, or you spend your time watching Beyonce. She's making money for you to look at it.
Thank you. Thank you. So now it's helped a lot of people in Chicago. It's helped people in 12 nations now that, you know, we had the opportunity to do the Leading Lights training virtually. So we are doing like a foretaste, like an open house where people can come in and then they can just for. So right now we want to tell people who are watching us and, you know, this show now or you are watching later on Facebook or whatever, that you can go to this simple website. It is open house and just give us your name and your contact, and our team will be in contact with you from the Life Development Center to let you know. And if you know anybody too that you feel that they can benefit from it, just send them there. You know, we're going to contact them and see how they can be part of that open house. But my question for you is, Julia, what will you tell people?
Yourself. Leading Light is going to help you define who you are. Boils down to that. I always tell people that Leading Light offered me the mentorship I never got. And it made me refocus, re-strategize, and define even though I always define myself, but it made me, you know, find a balance in who I am. So I'm encouraged. You don't know, but Leading Light will help you organize yourself, have a better plan. You cannot come out of Leading Light without being a better person and being
about the Leading Light. So I want to encourage every one of you, please go right now, openhouse.theleadinglight.org. They've already posted the link there, so you can just go there and just put your name in there. It's just a very simple form. I like to just cut it short. You know, we have like 5 more minutes. So what are your words, the last words? You know, people are watching from different places. What do you want to say? What's on your heart right now that you would like to tell people, apart from what we have talked about?
Let me give a shout out to the Hot Gem, Mbole Canada. That's my PR on the Saving Bangle. For all who are watching, I want to say this: have to create that platform where you receive and listen. And before you make any decisions and before you judge people, do realize being caused by certain things at the beginning of their day, and forgive and tolerate and go on. You define your attitude at that moment, no matter what hits you. You stand up, pick up from where you left the other person. Yes, you're going to come across coaches. You're going to come across people who motivate you, but that decision comes from a self-discipline that gets you back into your purpose, your goal. It becomes, that tallies with your drive. So please, all of you, humble yourself no matter what. There's the only time I'll encourage you to bring up your fire. Unity. It could be a Nigerian, it could be a Cameroonian, it could be from Ghana. If anyone comes to you and say, that brother, deal with him, you say, I'll deal with you first. Because in our community as Africans, we have to learn to hold hands as a family, to encourage each and every one of our brothers and sisters to join that family and to stand firm and grow stronger. With a great bond, we are going to be very successful because we are the strongest people in the world. Thank you. Oh no, I had with all the noise, I ran. You could have seen where I ran. But let me say this shout out to Stephanie Toom. I forgot to mention she's the producer of Saving Bango, and Lovette, the writer, and every other person who acted in that movie. I know they'll watch this later. But Pastor Land, thank you. You are, you know what? Keep doing what you do because you're impacting lives in a way I've never seen. See. I hardly go anywhere out of the honorary. People don't talk to Julia. They can't convince Julia, but I found a family in your family. Wow. You are a natural. I was bragging about you yesterday to Mbole Kane who's watching. You are a natural, you're God sent, you have a purpose and it's to impact life. You're doing it. You changed mine. Keep doing you. And please, connect with me. Anyone who needs support, I am here to work with you to make it better. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Julia. So please, guys, if you are in Chicago, visit the Powerhouse Restaurant. It's on State Street. What's the address again?
2113 South State Street, Chicago.
2113 South State Street. I have eaten there many times. My wife and I, sometimes we just order the food. And it's beautiful. It's just good fun, a very nice environment too. Please patronize the Powers Restaurant. There's also fellowship that goes on around there, like people meeting and talking. There's a family that surrounds the whole thing. So please just visit. And if you are not in Chicago, if you come to Chicago, visit the Powerhouse Restaurant on State Street. The address is already there. Thank you, Julia. Thank you everybody for joining us on Instagram, on Facebook, on YouTube. We appreciate you. We appreciate this time. Tomorrow, we're not going to have the Light360 broadcast. I will be speaking at a conference, a live online virtual conference, tomorrow, and I'll put out the information. I'm going to be speaking on enterprise development, your innovation, and all that. But I think we lost Julia. But on Friday, we're going to be back. We're going to be back again with the Light360 broadcast. We're going to have a panel from another nation. So we're going to be discussing state of the nations again. So thank you so much for joining us. I will see you all again. God bless you all. Hello.